Tonight we got ourselves our first MLB Game 7 since 2020. That year, both championship series went to 7 games in the bubble. Rays versus the Astros in San Diego, with the Rays winning that one 4-2, and the Braves and the Dodgers in Arlington, Texas at the new Rangers place, with the Dodgers winning a close one over there, Cody Bellinger's late home run. This is the first full capacity Game 7 since Nationals-Astros Game 7 in Houston. Same location as we're at tonight, Minute Maid Park, the site. I'm giving you guys my prediction for tonight's Game 7. Subscribe to the channel because we have a ton of baseball content coming for the rest of the postseason, of course, and all off-season as well. Make sure you tap that bell as well so you don't miss out on any of the uploads. So there's been a real road field advantage in this series so far. The road team is 6-0, just like Nationals-Astros a few years ago, and completely unlike the Yankees-Astros 2017 ALCS, where the home team won all 7 games. The Astros come in as small favorites of -130. The Rangers are +110. So if you're betting on this game, then you could consider liking the Rangers at +110, although it's pretty close to pick 'em. The Astros are very small favorites. But if I'm purely picking a winner of this baseball game, I got to go with the Houston Astros, and the reason for that is because Christian Javier, I've been so high on this man in the month of October for not a very long time yet. He didn't start a playoff game till last year, but ever since his first start of these playoffs against Minnesota, I was very high on him. Astros won that game. I just can't pick against Javier in a Game 7 setting against Max Scherzer, who this is his second game back. He struggled in Game 3 down in Arlington. I don't expect him to get beat up again tonight. The over-under for this game is 9. I would like the under for sure in a Game 7 setting tonight. I don't think Max Scherzer will get beat up, but I think Javier will really limit the Rangers' offense. I do feel a bit of a road field advantage here, but the Astros have so much more Game 7 experience than Texas, of course. And the other reason I gotta pick the Astros is because Astros in 7 was my pick before the series began. I said the Astros in 7. I also had Phillies in 4. Didn't expect the D-backs to jump back into the series in Arizona. Phillies are gonna probably win in 6. A little short form video coming on that later across all my platforms. Check out my Instagram and TikTok at Centerfield Media. But it's going to be a great game, and the truth is that it can go either way, my friends, because the road team is 6-0 in this series. But here's a point that I really want to make as well. Home teams struggle in Game 7. Everybody's always like, oh, you want to have that last game on your field. I don't know about that, man. Since 2014, home teams are 1-5 in the MLB. That, of course, does not count 2020 at the neutral site. Home teams are 1-5 in Game 7s across the last decade in baseball, man. It's been so often the home teams just come out too tight in Game 7s and they just lay an egg. However, the one time that a home team won a Game 7 in the last decade was the 2017 Astros at Minute Maid Park, beating the Yankees 4-0 in a Game 7. So I'm going to go with the Astros to get a 4-2 win on their home field tonight. I just think that between Alvarez, Bregman, their top 2 power threats these playoffs, Altuve, but they just have so many guys, and I just feel like a couple of them will have a big moment in this Game 7. They have an unreal amount of pedigree. They're not lacking motivation whatsoever, despite the fact that they've gone to 4 of the last 6 World Series. You could tell that they're trying to really turn this into one of the great dynasties of all time. For the Rangers, it's unfortunate that you don't have one of your big 2 from these playoffs in Montgomery or Eovaldi on the mound for this Game 7. It's crazy we're talking like that because you have Max Scherzer on the mound, probably the second greatest pitcher of this generation, maybe third. Kershaw, Verlander, Scherzer is definitely the big 3 of the generation that's closing their careers right now. So you have a first ballot Hall of Famer pitching for you if you're Texas, yet you are not the team who has the pitching advantage in this game whatsoever. And that's the other thing. If we have a close game down the stretch, if it's a slight Astro lead, you feel confident throwing Ryan Presley in the 9th inning to close the door and win the pennant. That's not the case with Texas. If you're up a couple runs if you're Texas, you can't really put in Leclerc and feel really confident, and especially if you have to navigate multiple innings, you're looking at possibly putting Chapman into a tight ALCS Game 7 in Houston. They laid off using him last night, smart idea, but I can definitely see him being inserted in the 8th inning tonight, which can be a disaster. If I was the manager, I wouldn't insert Chapman in a close Game 7. I just don't see any world where you can actually feel confident in Aroldis Chapman. Like, how does that make sense, especially in Houston? So the truth is that I'm going to be rooting for the Texas Rangers tonight. I'm not going to bet on this game. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this Game 7, rare Game 7s. I would like to see the Texas Rangers play the Philadelphia Phillies in the World Series. However, I would also be down for an Astro-Philly rematch for sure, you know what I'm saying? I know this is kind of an unpopular opinion. I just think that there's something cool about a team making many World Series. It just defines an era. However, if I'm being honest, I would rather see Texas represent the AL this time because the Rangers is so much fun. If this was Rays Astros, I'd rather see the Astros go to a 5th World Series in 7 years, you know what I'm saying? At least that's something really iconic, and I certainly would never root for the Trop to be part of the World Series, but Texas Rangers, you've been so much fun this postseason, and I'm going to be rooting for you to finish the job against the Astros tonight and advance to the Fall Classic. But I got to pick Houston.